It gets this hot, the cooling centers in our area open to help people stay safe. At Hope Campus in Fort Smith, staff is prepared for hundreds of people with water and meals available. The cafeteria space and the lobby are open for people and their belongings. Hope Campus cooling centers open when the temperatures are above 95 degrees and for the elderly and disabled when it hits 90 degrees.
A big thing that a lot of us don't really put into perspective until we're there is the lack of certain privileges, of being able to go and get an air-conditioned room and feel comfortable in our homes. These people don't have that. And so whenever they're out on the streets, the first thing that they're doing is they're going to look for a place that they can run to be protected and feel safe. And that's our number one goal.
Hope Campus is open from 8 to 5. Salvation Army and Next Step Day Room also open in Fort Smith when it hits 95 degrees. We have a full list of cooling centers across the area on our website. You can text the word COOL to the number on your screen, and we'll send you a full list of the centers as well as their hours. A Washington County jury has acquitted Hugh Cain of capital murder in the shooting death of 48-year-old Weston Miller. Cain had been accused of killing Miller more than 2 years ago. During a police interview, Cain admitted to the shooting but claimed he acted in self-defense, telling investigators Miller had threatened to physically attack him. The jury found Cain not guilty of capital murder. Well, Arvest is rolling out a new checking account structure that will charge some customers a $5 monthly fee. The change has drawn some criticism online, with some customers saying it could hit lower-income Arkansans the hardest. Under the new essential checking account, customers who don't meet qualifying direct deposit or combined balance requirements will pay a $5 monthly maintenance fee. One customer says she believes the change could have the biggest impact on the people who are already struggling to make ends meet. And Arvest says they hear those concerns.
Is it legal? Yes. Is it ethical? Well, that's another question.
We understand the frustration, and we hope ultimately there's value that they find in us as a bank, as a community-focused bank, and as a neighbor.
The bank says the new structure helps fund things like digital banking tools, fraud protection, and its branch network. Arvest also notes monthly checking account fees are common across the banking industry, though the requirements to avoid those fees vary from bank to bank. Well, after months of debate and a lawsuit from a resident, Fayetteville has now changed its rules over city employees signing non-disclosure agreements. The new rules state the mayor and city attorney must give written approval before any city employee signs an NDA. It also requires an NDA be terminated when the corresponding project enters into a public process like a permit approval. It all comes after public backlash after the city signed multiple agreements with drone manufacturer Swarm Aero.
I think the issue with Swarm Aero and the NDAs, it's something that I don't believe that I ever really thought about much of, and I don't think many of the public did either until this happened. So I think just the more transparency that we've been able to create here, I think is good for Fayetteville, and I think it gives us some more thought as we go forward.
The city was also set to discuss 3 ordinances that they say would help address the city's housing crisis, but tabled that discussion until next month. The Fort Smith Board of Directors has chosen 3 candidates to interview for a city administrator position. Joseph Lessard, Richard McGill, and Robert Sivik are all vying for the position. Their names were announced after Tuesday's executive session. These candidates will all be in Fort Smith for interviews next Thursday. In December 2024, directors voted to fire then-Administrator Carl Gefkin. Jeff Dingman has served as the interim and acting city administrator ever since then. And Fort Smith City directors have approved a change for citizen comments heard by the board. This new amended ordinance still allows public comment during voting sessions, but only on agenda items. All public comments on any concerns people might have will now be heard at study session meetings. Well, meanwhile, the citizens group seeking to get voters to decide on changing Fort Smith to a mayoral form of government did not turn in petitions as planned. The group says a canvasser raised a concern over how some signatures were notarized. They say an investigation is now underway into the 3,800 signatures they had collected.
Our goal is to do that, make sure that the integrity of the process is 100% intact, because that's what we've always insisted on, and make sure that that we're transparent in what we're doing.
100 signatures to get the proposal on the November ballot. No timeline yet on when they'll submit it to the city clerk's office. The city of Fort Smith is honoring one of its own. July 21st was officially proclaimed Officer Kyle Newman Day, just 2 months after he was shot in the line of duty during a DWI traffic stop. The proclamation recognizes Newman's service, sacrifice, and continued recovery after he was critically hurt in May. His wife Raquel says the road to recovery for Newman has been difficult, but she never lost hope, and she says this honor extends far beyond his sacrifice.
Truly, every man and woman in the police department should be very proud of what they do, and I think with this day honoring him, it honors them as well, because they're all truly incredible, and the sacrifice of every single one of them, I mean, it truly shows that there is danger in the job, but they go out selflessly.
Says they are thankful for the outpouring of support they've received from the community and from people all across the country. Well, for nearly 3 decades, a local bookstore has worked to foster a love of reading in Northwest Arkansas, and now Once Upon a Time Books is turning to the community for support. What started in a family's garage has grown into multiple locations and warehouses, but the owners say the cost of expanding their bookmobile literacy program that brings free books to Arkansas children has created some financial pressure. They're now asking the community for support through an online fundraiser.
Books' viability to stay in business and to keep continuing to be part of the community. This is a major part of our business, and in order for us to continue to grow, we need Great Arkansas Book Giveaway to also grow and flourish, and for us to be able to be part of the education community that we have been.
The owners of Once Upon a Time Books say the fundraiser is about making sure that Arkansas children have access to books.